everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Joining me now is Jacques Slade, content creator and host. Jacques, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me on. This is exciting.
Of course, this is very exciting, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention you are a sneaker connoisseur if your background didn't give it away. So you are you're the perfect person for this conversation. Former President Donald Trump introduced a sneaker line at SneakerCon in Philly over the weekend. So first, for the uninitiated, can you explain what SneakerCon is?
So SneakerCon is like almost like if you're familiar with Comic-Con, which is probably just as ambiguous, but it's basically a convention for people to buy, sell, and appreciate the world of sneakers. It's almost like you're going to for like coin collectors, how they go to those conventions and everyone has like their different coins from different eras. It's the same thing with sneakers. SneakerCon is an opportunity for people in that city that love the world of sneakers, whether that's design, the fashion, the technical, the performance, all of those elements of sneakers, and they come together and really talk and they buy, sell, and trade.
And so over the weekend, we saw the former president unveil his new sneaker line. The flashiest ones were the Never Surrender, and these are high top gold sneakers. First, what's your reaction to those sneakers in particular?
They do kind of scream Donald Trump in every way that you think of Donald Trump. As a man that had gold toilets, gold sneakers seem to fit the bill as well.
And you're the expert here. There was a pretty hefty price tag on these sneakers. They were $3.99. Are they worth that much money, in your opinion?
In my opinion, they are definitely priced more than your average sneaker. If you think about the average Jordan is about $200, and an average Vans sneaker goes about $100. So for him to price his sneakers at $400 or $399, if we're going to be technical, they're definitely priced higher than your average sneaker.
In this specific line, the Never Surrenders, there are 1,000 pairs, and at least 10 of them are autographed by the former president himself. Is this type of exclusivity, this limited edition, is that a draw to the sneaker community?
I don't know if this will be a draw to the sneaker community, but I think it'll be a draw to Donald Trump's community. The sneaker community, I don't think they look at these sneakers as a part of the world of sneakers, so to speak. This looks more of like a presidential products kind of thing, like former presidents do. So I think it just happens to be sneakers. So I think his community will be excited about it and about the signatures, but the sneaker community itself isn't going to be excited about that.
Let's dive a little deeper in there then. What has been the reaction from the sneaker community?
For the majority of the sneaker community, when they see these sneakers and understand where they're coming from in the context of it all, they see it as a bit of a money grab, that he is trying to reach an audience that he hasn't typically catered to. And sneakers are incredibly popular right now. Every sneaker brand right now is doing incredible things, and the world of sneakers has grown so much. Each brand, like shareholders in the sneaker world, are extremely happy right now. And so it seems like this is Donald Trump attempting to tap in to that world, but it's not necessarily just jump in that world kind of thing. You kind of have to earn your bona fides before you're allowed to kind of walk into those doors. So this, again, is probably going to be something more for his audience than it's going to be for the sneaker audience.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because obviously when it comes to athletes and sneakers, that partnership makes sense. And I want to talk about the authenticity. Does this line feel authentic, and how much exactly does that matter?
Well, I think the authenticity definitely matters. It's just like any core group. Like a journalist is just not gonna let some new journalist come into their fold and do whatever they want. It's the same sort of thing. We, as the sneaker community, I think we understand what he's doing and what he's trying to do. And so there is going to be a bit of a barrier in front of him for him to be accepted into the sneaker community. He would have to do a lot to be accepted into this world.
And this one specifically, the Never Surrender, they sold out apparently in less than 2 hours. Is that surprising to you?
It's not surprising to me. He's a very popular figure, and his community absolutely loves and adores him. And I feel just like with anything else, if there's an opportunity for someone to make a dollar, they're going to make a dollar. I would imagine the majority of those pairs that were bought by resellers, kind of like ticket scalpers, but they do it for sneakers, and they're just going to be resold to his community at a premium.
And he also introduced two more pairs. They're coming in at a lower price at $199 per pair, the T-Red Wave and the POTUS 45. What do you think about these ones?
Those, the design of those is very familiar. For those that frequent within the sneaker world, there are websites that almost mash up sneaker styles together. And the silhouette of those from the outsole to the upper is very reminiscent of those types of sites. So it's not, these weren't shoes designed specifically for Donald Trump. This is more of a mold that he just used, and he added in his 45 and the T, and wrote his lettering on the outsole. This is not a very specific to Donald Trump shoe. This is a shoe that anyone with that wanted to make a shoe could do.
I don't know about you. I've never seen a politician wade into the sneaker world. And there has been reaction from the comms director of the Biden-Harris reelection campaign. They released a statement saying this, quote, Donald Trump showing up to hawk bootleg off-whites is the closest he'll get to any Air Force Ones ever again for the rest of his life. Do you think this, as you said, you believe it's a money grab. Do you think this marketing move fell flat? Did it work? Was it successful? What's your takeaway?
I guess it really depends on the audience that you're speaking to. If you're speaking to Donald Trump's core audience, this was amazing. They get a chance to feel like they're a part of the sneaker world, and they have something exclusive, but they also have something that they can use to support the former president. So in that case, it's a win. But I think for the broader world, when they see this, I don't think they look at it as Donald Trump being genuinely interested in the world of sneakers or being genuinely interested in the people that buy sneakers. I think they see it more as, again, a money grab, an opportunity for him to make money on something that that's really popular right now.
As the expert here, as the sneaker connoisseur, do you think there's anything missing from this conversation?
I don't think there's anything missing from this conversation. I think we've all got a pretty good idea of Donald Trump and the way that he operates and the way that his businesses operates. This seems more along the lines of the same sort of things that we've seen from him in the past. Now, he released the perfume and the cologne as well. That feels like something that's more authentic to Donald Trump, as opposed to the sneakers, which definitely feels like there's a leak, there's a disconnect, like the thread doesn't go all the way through. When you think of Donald Trump, you don't think of Jordans, you don't think of Adidas, you don't think of shell toes, you don't think of New Balance. You think of politics, or you think of suits, or you think of gold toilets, for lack of a better word. So I think I don't think anything's missing, because I think the American public is smart enough to realize that this isn't authentic to him, and this isn't something that he's genuinely interested in.
So with this release of this line, the launch of this line, he's not changing the hearts and minds of sneakerheads, is what you're saying.
He will not change the hearts and minds of sneakerheads with this release, unfortunately. He's got to do a lot more work than just releasing a pair of gold shoes.
Jacques Slade, thank you so much for the conversation. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you for having me. Glad to come back.